Hi, it's Chris Voss here from the ChrisVossShow.com, the ChrisVossShow.com. Come here, blog post I want to share with you. Of course, if you do the latest in social media and technology, be sure to give us a like, subscribe to us, hit that subscribe button, and tell your friends. We're going to be sharing today from AT&T.com the fastest download and upload speeds, the Apple iPhone 5C versus the Apple iPhone 5. We're going to see which one of these is faster, better, all that good stuff, and which one wins this sort of battle. So let's tune in, take a look, and see. Okay, so here we have the results of the Geekbench 3 test. This is an app that you can take and use and download. You can follow along at home to see how your phone might compare with these or what you want to upgrade to. The Geekbench score for the single-core score is 692 versus 718. Multi-score, 1241 versus 1274. Very interesting again how the iPhone 5 is beating the iPhone 5C in these tests. So let's go ahead and page down through some of this data. Now, I don't usually worry about some of this stuff, but there's a lot of people who actually like looking at it, and they like looking at the individual integer data and all that good stuff. So we'll quickly page through it so that you guys can see how this broke down. Of course, if you do enjoy reading this information, you can go ahead and pause the video at any time and be able to, take this data in for whatever purpose you want. It's interesting how each of these do break down and measure the individual performances of each of these phones, etc., memory, and there you have it. Okay, so here we have this is the 3D Mark app, benchmarking app score, and what we're looking at is the results of the Ice Storm Unlimited score. It's one of the different 3 versions you can use on it. Now, the score was 5685 for the iPhone 5C, and ironically, or weirdly, the score is the same on the iPhone 5. So how about them apples? This measures a lot of CPU performance, etc., you can see looks like there was some small difference between the graphics scores, the physics scores, very minute. Pretty much the same graphics tests almost came out the same. Physics tests at the very bottom there, just really small, minimal differences between these two devices in the CPU test. Very interesting. Okay, so let's take a look. This is the iPhone 5C versus the iPhone 5 in the PassMark performance test, mobile test. You can see here that they're actually scoring the system 3406 versus 3655. Let's page down through here. And the CPU test scored 23821 versus 25591. I'm kind of surprised by some of these figures. But, I'm really not sure what the difference here is that's making a difference. Disk 11,820, 16,971. All benchmarking apps aren't quite perfect, so that's why we run a multitude of them to measure, try and get a good running average. Memory 3200 versus 3569. 2D 1121 versus 1210, and 3D 1798 versus 1803. Very interesting that the iPhone 5 outperformed this particular test. Okay, so here we have the test of the AnTuTu 3D rating benchmark between the iPhone 5C and the iPhone 5 itself. You've got 11,654 was the score versus 11,589. So very similar here in the score. Frame rates came in at 46.7 per second on average and 46.5 on average for the iPhone 5. Very interesting. Okay, so what we have here is the GFXBench test. This is the 2.7 version, of course, and it tests the frame rates of the device, etc., processing, all that good stuff. So you've got on the GFX for the 5C 382 frames at 6.8 frames per second versus 383 frames at 6.8 frames per second. Very similar there. Almost exactly 744 frames on both devices on the on-screen test at 13 frames per second. Very close. Okay, so all in all, I like both these devices. They're definitely awesome phones and well built, etc., You can go to our good friends at AT&T.com. That's AT&T.com. Tell them Chris Voss sent you with the fastest download and upload speeds in the market. And in doing so, pick out the phone that you want to have that fit your needs and wants. Definitely, these are both really good phones. So there you have it. Be sure to subscribe. Give us a like on YouTube. Be sure to tune in for all the different things that we're going to be doing. We're going to be comparing all the phones with the different iPhones and Samsungs and Androids and everything out there. So you definitely want to tune in to see that. Give us a like. Tell your friends and neighbors. Thanks for coming by the ChrisVossShow.com.